Hi, it's Marianne, the Frugal Chef. Let's make a mixed paella today. I like making paella for, special occasions. So I think this is what I'm going to serve Christmas Eve. I'm going to make one now and decide if that's what I want to make. Okay, so come on, let's make this. Okay, let's get our ingredients ready for a paella, okay? There's a lot of ingredients in this, so it's important that you have everything ready before you start. Right here I have two chicken breasts, which I've cut into, big cubes if you want. Dice them into big pieces, okay? Okay, to this chicken, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper, about half a teaspoon of rosemary leaves. I have about a half a teaspoon of dried paprika there and half a teaspoon of cumin, okay? I'm just gonna mix the chicken with that. And I'm gonna brown this. I want it to be evenly browned, okay? So the next thing you're gonna need to do is get all your vegetables ready for your sofrito. That's what it's called. It's the base of a lot of Latin American foods, okay? And it's basically onions with peppers, tomatoes, and garlic. So go ahead and chop a large yellow onion, chop it relatively fine, and chop a large tomato, peel it and chop it, okay? Same thing, it doesn't have to be tiny, but relatively small dice, okay? Then you're gonna go ahead and dice 3 garlic cloves, okay? And finally, for your sofrito, you're gonna need your peppers. Now, I like to use the 3 colors just because it looks pretty, okay? I have half a red bell pepper, half a yellow, and half a green in here, okay? So go ahead and cut those in thin strips. And then we'll cook these in a minute. For other vegetables, you're gonna need half a cup of peas. Now I just have frozen peas that I thawed here. So get those ready, okay? And you're also gonna need 2 tablespoons of capers. Now for the chorizo, okay? I am using Linguica, which is really easy to find at the supermarket. You're gonna find it with all the sausages, okay? It's Portuguese. I'm using the spicy kind. Finding Spanish chorizo, not so easy. So this is why I'm using this. I would probably not use Mexican chorizo just because the taste is really, really different, okay? Now, you can also use Italian sausage if you'd like. So don't stress too much, just use sausage. This is 1 large link of Linguica. Make sure it's cooked, so if you're gonna buy it raw, cook it first, and then cut it. This is already pre-cooked, so all I did is cut it into pieces like this, okay? So now for the seafood. I have 12 large clams here, which I scrubbed. Okay, it's really important that you take all the sand off of your clams. Okay, it's also important that they're nice and closed like this. And once they're cooked, they need to open. If they're not opening, they're dead. So don't eat them, okay? So I have 12 clams. Now, you could add other stuff. I was looking for mussels yesterday, and the mussels they had at the supermarket were obviously all dead. So I decided not to buy them, okay? So I'm just gonna put clams and shrimp in this. Finally, I'm gonna put a pound of large shrimp, into my paella. Okay, now let's talk about the rice. You need to have a short grain rice for your paella. You can't have a long grain rice because it's not gonna cook well, okay? Now finding Spanish short grain rice in the supermarket, not a very easy thing. So I use Arborio rice, which is the Italian rice you use for risotto, okay? It'll work perfectly fine. So go ahead and get your rice ready. You're gonna need 3 cups for this recipe. Finally, your most important ingredient for your paella is saffron, okay? Saffron is not a cheap spice, so don't try and get as little as you can. You actually can get, I think, like little tiny bits in bottles at the supermarket. I use it, I cook a lot, so I have a bigger, bag of saffron. Another thing about saffron is it doesn't keep for a long, long, long time, so don't buy a lot of it, okay? But it is a crucial spice for your paella, because the paella is really a saffron-infused rice with, the vegetables and the meat and the seafood, okay? And we're going to use 6 cups of chicken broth on our rice. Okay, so let's start cooking. I just wanted to get you acquainted with all the ingredients you're going to need for this. Now that we have everything ready, this will cook in a breeze, okay? Alright, so our chicken is browning nicely here. We want it to brown evenly on all sides, so we're going to let it do its thing. Let me tell you something about the skillet or the pan that you need for your paella. Preferably you have a paella pan. If you don't, you're going to need something that's large enough to accommodate all your rice and meats, okay? But also something that's oven proof, because we're going to finish cooking this in the oven, okay? Okay, I'm going to remove my chicken and set it aside, okay? Of course, I used olive oil for this. I don't know if I told you or not, but it is olive oil. So just trying to drain it, leave some of that oil behind. You're going to need it now for your sofrito. Okay, add a little more olive oil to your pan. And let's start cooking the onions, okay? Now we're going to let this cook just for a little bit. I want it to just get a little soft and translucent. Not long. You know, maybe 3-4 minutes, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients, okay? Now I'm just going to add the garlic, my peppers, and my tomato. I'm going to cook this for a good 15-20 minutes until all the vegetables are nicely sauteed and cooked through, okay? Okay, these vegetables are ready. You know, the onion is starting to brown a little bit and they're nice and softened. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to transfer these into the bowl with my chicken, okay? Okay, now add a little more extra virgin olive oil to your pan and we're going to saute the rice. You want to cook this until your rice has, you know, is translucent. It has a little dot in the middle, okay? So that's not going to take too long, but it is a necessary step. So also make sure you move it constantly because you don't want to burn it, okay? This is ready. I've been cooking it for about 4 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to return my sofrito and my chicken. You know, make sure you put all that juice in there. Mix this really well. So now I'm going to add my 6 cups of chicken broth, okay? Mix that. And I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of peas. I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of saffron. Just put those, sprinkle them around. Put my capers in there. Mix it. I have an oven that's heating at 375 and the rack is at the bottom, okay? So I'm gonna wait for this to heat a little more. Now let's put our clams and our prawns on this. Let's not forget our chorizo. I almost forgot my chorizo. Before you put your seafood on here, I want you to taste this for salt. And this one's perfect. It doesn't need any more salt. But I am going to add a little black pepper to this. Little black pepper. So now just arrange your clams. And again, if you were using mussels, you'd be doing the same. You know, take the sand out, take the sand out. I can't stress that enough, okay? And just arrange your shrimp on here as well, okay? Alright, so this is going to go in the oven uncovered and it's going to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes. It's going to be ready when all the liquid is gone, okay? So I will bring it out then and I'm going to let it sit after it's cooked for a few minutes and then we'll eat. Oh, this is delicious.
Your bag's in the way.
That's right. Here. Ooh.
And yeah.
Hold on for a second. Okay, this is overcooking. My friends, look at this paella. It is beautiful. The clams are open. The shrimp is all nicely cooked. The rice is dried up. Oh, it smells like you have no idea. Delicious. This was in the oven for 25 minutes at 375. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the table and let everybody just serve themselves, okay? Bon appetit, my friends from thefrugalchef.com. Make sure you come and visit us. We have all kinds of recipes that are not in video form. Eat well without going broke, and I will see you soon.